How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Joe
from NEPA Beer Reviews.
Here, doing a homebrew day at his house, brewing 3 beers today.
Yes.
A wheat and 2 separate different IPAs, correct?
Yes.
One that's going to borderline double IPA-ish, maybe?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens with it.
So we figured do some brewing, do some reviewing,
yes.
And here we go. We have now a beer from Backwards Land,
yes,
right?
From Canada.
Yeah. What do you know about this?
This is from Nicklebrook Brewing, and it's their Naughty Neighbor. It's an American Pale Ale that they use Cascade, Centennial, and Citra hops. Don't know when they're using any of those. I would assume...
one at first, and...
I would assume the Centennial is probably earlier in the boil, and then the Cascade and Citra are like later and dry hopped.
Who knows?
Who knows? It's just a list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nicklebrook, we've done technically we've done 2 Nicklebrook reviews. Actually 3 if you want to be technical, right?
Yeah.
But we lost 2 and we retained 1.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 beers from them. It was their not the Whiny Bastard. I haven't had that. You've had that.
Yeah.
It's the Cuvée.
You've had the Cuvée.
And I've had the Kentucky Bastard.
And you've also had Bolshevik Bastard.
And Bolshevik. I forgot about that
yeah.
one.
Well, that was like...
Bolshevik's the base for Kentucky Bastard.
And Whiny Bastard, yes.
And Whiny Bastard. I haven't had Whiny, but I have had Bolshevik, which is absolutely delicious. Kentucky, which was like all-star level delicious. Cuvée was really nice.
It was nice. It was nice, and it's like in a
oddness.
weird kind of way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what else have you had from Nicklebrook?
Honestly, not much. Not much. Like pretty much everything that you've had.
Minus this.
And I have had this a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nicklebrook is from just outside Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, Burlington, Ontario. I'm not exactly sure where that is in relation to Toronto.
Joe is going to brewery school in Canada, and that's why we have it.
Yes.
So there you go. Let's drink this stuff. Oh, first things first, label-wise. Say what's on the label. I haven't been able to... We've been doing homebrew for a couple hours,
we've been doing unlabeled
there have been
bottles.
no labels.
Yeah.
It says Naughty Neighbor, why hello neighbor. Full-bodied American Pale Ale. Let's see here. Sometimes neighbors are just too enticing to resist. Our award-winning APA, American Pale Ale, pays homage to our naughty neighbors of the South, and American Pale Ale is something for everyone. For hop lovers, the huge citrus pine aromas greet the nose and continue on to the palate, leaving remarkably easy drinking, crisp, dry finish. We pack this flavor into 4.9% ABV, which gives a hugely sessionable beer. Perfectly refreshing. That is perfectly refreshing.
I believe this beer is pretty fresh. If you look on the bottom of the can,
we have it's a week 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks old. Yeah, so that's technically fresh.
Yeah, it's
about as fresh as you're gonna get.
Yeah,
from a brewery.
It's pretty fresh. Like when I reviewed, I have a review for this up on my website, and I reviewed it probably. It was maybe a couple days old.
That's awesome.
You know, and I didn't realize it at the time.
Unfiltered, Burlington, Ontario, 4.9% ABV, 38 IBUs. The malts, 2-row pale, Carafoam,
Caristan, and
flaked wheat. Hops, Cascade, Centennial, Citra, like you said before, Yeast, California. Recommended serving glass, Nonic pint. What the hell is that?
That is the pint glass that kind of goes up and then has a little dimple.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then goes up a little bit more.
Yeah,
English style pint glass.
Yeah. And that's all there is to it. Yeah, label-wise, it's cool. It's cool in its ghetto-ness. It's like really ghetto. Yeah. It's like super like horribly drawn in a way that you could tell that's why they're doing it. And there you go. And it's kind of like on there.
It's
like
a sleeve on there.
Yeah, I can like rip the label off if I actually wanted to.
Yeah, that's kind of like a thing, like, especially with canning, is just putting kind of a sleeve on there. Almost, I don't know if it's exactly like a shrink wrap kind of a deal.
My guess would be is that there's probably a mobile canning unit, and they probably, like you can see it is peeled, like label off if you wanted to. There's probably a mobile canning unit that goes there, because do you see a lot of Nicklebrook beers in cans? Everything I've seen on the internet is usually in bottles.
In bottles. Cans, no. But, yeah, usually bottles, like Bolshevik Bastard is in in bottles.
So my guess is there might be a mobile canning unit that goes there, and then they can their beers, and then they have the labels produced outside of wherever. And there you go. Yeah. Ooh, citrus. I can smell that sucker. When I looked in the bottle, my eyeballs can smell. There you go. Okay, first off, 4.9%, and you're getting a nice haziness to it. I mean, unfiltered. They say it's unfiltered.
There's also wheat in there.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into
it's nice
into account.
Golden hue to it. I'm sure if we were indoors and there was a bit more light, it'd probably be a bit brighter, but it's, nice.
It's about the same.
White. That's white head.
Yeah.
No color to it whatsoever. Decently creamy top. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice mixture of citrus. Well, I would say 2/3 citrus, 1/3 pine.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
it's
getting.
It's definitely verging more toward citrus for me.
Yeah. See that there. See, you can look at it while we drink beer. Nice sweetness to it. Nice malt to it. But, I mean, it's definitely hop driven. But for 4.9%, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's got a lot of aroma, a lot of flavor.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, you're talking about 38 IBU. It's not a huge beer, but at the same time, you're not talking about a big IBU presence. Not that IBUs really equate. You know what I mean? There's 100 IBU Russian Imperial Stout, so you can't even detect a hop inside of it. So it's not a IBU to hop ratio.
A balance thing.
Yeah, it's a balance thing.
Sweetness to bitterness balance.
So,
but
let's get in that sucker.
Let's try it.
That's a nice beer.
That's good.
That's nice. A little bit dry for me.
Yeah.
I'm not huge in the whole dry arena when it comes to beers, but yeah, that's nice. First thing you get is a hop smack you in the face. Mm-hmm. Way bigger than what you'd expect them to at that IBU or ABV. And then it's just a nice... I want to say like a almost subtle, like that creamy, maybe even it's the wheat, like a wheat malt, almost like a Hefeweizen middle.
Yeah, it is the wheat gives it such a nice body to it. It has a nice fluffy kind of body.
Yeah, and it finishes about as clean as a beer could possibly finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dry, but I mean, that's like, it's almost palate cleansing clean, you know? It's definition textbook session beer. This is like, you want to sit at a barbecue.
Yeah, you're going to sit outside by a fire, you're going to have a couple of these,
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic beer. Super clean, really well made, super refreshing. It's very fresh, 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's like there's no, I don't want to say, how do I say it? I don't want to say adjunct free, because that's kind of like weird to say that other people might do, but you can tell it's fresh ingredients. It's very clean, very crisp, very...
It's also gotten out there, it's hit the shelves when it should hit the shelves, and it's leaving when it should leave.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
And that's a weird road to hoe, because you're talking about distribution. Mm. You're talking about Nicklebrook, Canada only, Ontario only, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's easier to go from kettle to shelf or whatever you want to call it than a bigger company that's going to go nationwide or continent-wide. So, take that with a grain of salt.
Let's just kind of equate it to Pennsylvania for a second. If we're going to get an IPA from someone who doesn't really have that big of a reputation.
If I get, if I get a...
It's going to be sitting around for a little while.
If I get a 4-pack of Trogs Nugget Nectar, it's typically going to be 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
And even though this is 2 weeks old,
but I'm talking
Joe bought it, drank a couple, stayed at school, drove here, stayed here a couple days, and then we're drinking it. It's not like it didn't arrive 2 weeks later, it arrived a day later.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I picked this up. I probably picked this up within a day of it going on the shelf.
Which is amazing.
And then went back and got more. Because I'm like, Matt needs to fucking try this.
And this is an absolutely fantastic session beer, man. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what you want. This is let's see. Probably have a barbecue when you're home from school. Bring a case of this alarm. Next week when I'm in Canada, I'll buy to run a beer fest, which is probably going to be after I post this video, so ignore that. Or don't ignore it. Go next year if there is one. I will. Yeah, and
we'll see beers from my school. Probably not from me. I don't know what they do at festivals. To be completely honest,
sure.
I don't know what they'll bring. Probably like our regular stuff.
I know they're pushing for different stuff. We'll see. I'm just super excited.
I don't know if they're going to bring any. I don't know if they're necessarily going to have any student made, like any like we call it certified original, like any that kind of like student beers.
I gotcha.
There, we might have like. I don't want to speculate.
Professor beers, almost like
no, like we have a couple standard. We have like our Brewmaster series, which is IPA wheat stout, and then we also have. First draft ale and lager, and then Butler's bitter. So I don't know what they're gonna have.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and I don't want to say one way or the other.
But I'm super excited. Like I said, this will be posted after. But I'm just really excited to have a culture shock of beer, like to go there and just be exposed to a whole vast of breweries I've never had an exposure to. But yeah, rating wise, Jesus, dude, I don't even. It's a weird thing. I'm gonna give it a 90.
90?
And that's a big score for a session pale ale for me.
Yeah.
I don't rate on style. If I was rating on style, I'd probably give it the 99.
Yeah.
I don't rate on style. I rate on pure what I want to be around me at all times. Mm-hmm. In that case, a bigger beer, not necessarily alcohol-wise, but just a bigger, more robust beer is always going to be a little bit higher score for me. But so 90 is pretty damn high for a beer this. What did you score it in your written review?
I think I gave this an A. I think a flat A. And it was everything that like I wanted.
Yeah.
In a beer, like what they say on the label, this is a pale ale. With this, and this, I'm like, perfect.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
And like I said, go ahead. Sorry.
No, like this is so drinkable.
Yeah.
You know, I'm easily have. You know, typically when I review, I'm not drinking the full beer.
Yeah.
I'm reviewing, maybe sipping on it for a little while, and then flipping over to the next review.
And this one you kept going.
I finished it, you know, and then bought more. Yeah, you know,
and that's what I mean. Like from my aspect, like I give it a 90, and it's I don't rate on style, I just rate on a scale of awesomeness, and that's super generic. Let's put it this way: for a 4.9 session American Pale Ale, I'd probably max score 90. Yeah, nothing would go above 90.
Yeah,
so that's kind of how I grade stuff in that aspect. Like in the way my brain works, I can't give this a 98 when I give. Like another beer 97, and I'm like, I'd want that beer way more than this beer.
Yeah.
So it's more like grading on awesomeness as far as the style. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's completely reasonable.
Value and availability. Availability in northeastern Pennsylvania is 0 because you can't get it because it's only available in Canada. But you can drive the 5 hours and get it if you wanted to. Value. What does it come in? 4 or 6?
I got that single can for like 2 and change.
So you don't. Did you see any kind of pricing as far as 4 or 6 packs?
They didn't really do.
Or the Canadian twofer?
2-4?
Yeah.
They like the LCBO just had it single cans. I don't know if they bring it out in like almost like a little like what would be a case.
Yeah. If
you were to take the entire thing, but I just got it like single can was like maybe. Close to $3, you know. It was like
Canadian, which is like a penny American or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's like no money. It's free.
They give you money back.
They actually pay you to take it away in U.S. dollars. It's really weird.
So let's.
Let's say it's like 2 and change. Like,
so 2 and change. Let's say 2 American.
Probably
$2 conversion wise.
Conversion wise, probably $2 American.
So you're probably looking. I'm guessing, and we're totally speculating here. I'm guessing probably about if you were to buy it in a 4 or 6 pack, depending on how it was produced, you're probably looking at $1.50 to $1.25. I would imagine that's what it break down to cost wise. Yeah, I'm guessing. So, and at that point, you're just like yeah, awesome.
Like, let's say about
it's
maybe
a $10 6 pack.
I was gonna say like a $6.99, like 4 pack.
4 pack. Yeah. So $6.99, $10 6 pack $7 4-pack. You know, value-wise, that's a 9. You know what I mean? It's just a great beer. So, yeah. Nicklebrook Naughty Neighbor. I mean, you're talking about a sessionable pale ale. Citrus forward.
I haven't had a bad beer from Nicklebrook.
No. What I've had from, not at all. Citrus forward, definitely a little bit of pininess, a little bit of dryness. Really nice mouthfeel because of that wheat in there. Just absolutely beautiful beer. If you can get it and you are into beers of that type, you should totally give it a whirl because it's just that good. So there you go. Another review in the books. Where can people find you?
NEPABeerReviews.squarespace.com. Also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at NEPA Beer Reviews.
Massive Beers. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. Not 5 places, 4 places. 4 places, not 5. Yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a nice pale ale. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.